The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that fans will see a lonely cop, a broken engagement aftermath, and a lawyer's fight. Multiple Lie and R characters will have challenges to overcome. So let's discuss what's ahead in GC. First, we should consider a lonely cop who's been unlucky in love. Of course, we're talking about Chance Chancellor, who ultimately got tired of waiting on Summer Newman to figure out her feelings. Chance turned their break into a full-blown breakup since he could tell Summer was stuck on Kyle Abbott. Now that Summer has exited the canvas, that shuts the door on her chapter with Chance even more. What's next for Chance, who's no doubt longing for a romantic reset? Since Connor Floyd isn't on contract, Y&R may not be in any big hurry to find Chance a proper love interest to build a future with. As a result, Chance may just have to deal with the loneliness. It seems like the show just intends to use Chance for detective duties when the need arises, so he may remain unlucky in love for a while. Right now, the aftermath of a broken engagement is playing out off-screen. Tracy Abbott was devastated when she learned the truth about Alan Laurent, aka Martin Laurent, the criminal sociopath who posed as his twin brother. Unfortunately, viewers didn't really get to see how Tracy coped after all the impersonation drama blew up. Tracy removed her engagement ring and dashed off to New York with Ashley Abbott soon after. It's good that Tracy's distracting herself by writing a book and spending some quality time with her sister, but many fans want to see for themselves how she's actually dealing with things. Is Tracy Oak after all the twin swap madness and Martin's arrest? Will Tracy ever be able to open her heart to love again after getting burned so badly? Tracy and Ashley will eventually return to Genoa City, so let's hope Tracy will finally get a chance to open up a bit. The on-screen broken engagement aftermath will come a little later than viewers might have liked, but at least we can hear from Tracy about her current headspace. Now that Amanda Sinclair's return is rapidly approaching, we should also talk about the lawyer's tricky fight that's brewing. Amanda will find herself in attorney mode, so it'll be interesting to see who she helps and what she's able to pull off. Will Amanda be part of Billy Abbott and Aristotle Dumas' team effort? Could Amanda help find some legal strategy to steal Chancellor back from the Newmans? Amanda might end up helping out the team at Winters instead, depending on what challenge she's forced to tackle. Regardless, Amanda has quite the winning streak and may make some predictions about keeping it going. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Jolie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of May 12 to 16 reveal that Kyle Abbott will spin out while Claire Newman and Victoria Newman face some awful news. Audra Charles will also plot a bold move, so here's what Y&R fans can expect. For starters, the hostility between Billy Abbott and Adam Newman could become a bigger problem if Adam goes through with doing Victor Newman's dirty work. Victor is adamant about using Newman Media to drag Billy down, so Adam could cause Billy to strike back as a result. Of course, any move Adam makes against Billy will land him in hot water with Chelsea Lawson, and Sally Spectra obviously won't be happy either. Sally and Chelsea could end up doing some feuding, as well as the Abbott Communications and Newman Media drama heats up. Next, Kyle will spin out after Victor makes a power play against him. It'll leave Kyle in an angry tizzy, and that could be the perfect time for Audra to take her first real step toward Kyle's takedown. Victor is demanding to see some signs of progress before he'll give Audra the funding she needs for Vibrant. Will Audra prove she's well on her way to dirtying up Kyle's image and ultimately breaking up his romance with Claire? If Audra ever expects to get her new venture off the ground, she'd better do some brainstorming and make something happen. Victor expects Audra to get the ball rolling on whatever trap she's setting for Kyle, so she should get more daring and attempt to pull something off. Of course, Audra will have to be careful since Nate Hastings is already suspicious of her arrangement with Victor. The longer this partnership goes on, the more likely it becomes that Nate will figure out what Audra's secret mission is. Next, Tessa Porter may put Maria Copeland on the hot seat. At this point, Tessa has figured out that Maria may have done something bad on her business trip, so she may back her wife into a difficult corner. Will Tessa push Mariah for the truth and prepare for the worst? It's looking more and more like Mariah cheated on Tessa while she was away, so we'll see if she blurts out a full confession sooner or later. Regardless of what Mariah spills, Daniel Romalotti Jr. will remain Tessa's confidant and a strong source of support. Across town, Cole Howard's test results seem poised to deliver a devastating blow. Will Cole find out he's dying? And if he does, will he tell Victoria and Claire his grim diagnosis right away? Whatever the case, Claire and Victoria should get some horrible updates eventually, so stay tuned for any grim predictions about Cole's tough road ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the week of May 12 to 16 will bring some tense scenes and plenty of emotional moments. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, May 8, suggests some drama on the horizon in the land of Genoa City. Someone pushes their nemesis buttons, while another is placed in a tough position, and a warning is issued. What's set to go down on Thursday's show? Time to find out. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, May 8, imply that Billy Abbott will get his buttons pushed by none other than Victor Newman. Unfortunately, the mustache knows how to grate Billy's last nerve, so will he allow Victor to get to him? It sounds like Billy will fall into the old man's trap for now. Victor will certainly win the battle on Thursday's episode, but will he win the war too? Across town, Devin Hamilton Winters will be in a tough position. During the Wednesday, May 7 episode, Lily Winters offered Damian Kane a job at Winters. This provides Damian with a way to not only prove to be trustworthy, work with his brother, Nate Hastings, but also get away from doing business with the shady Aristotle Dumas. Lily will probably talk to Devin about this on Thursday's show, but her brother may be skeptical about bringing Damian on board. Still, if Lily fills Nate in and he approves, Devin might be outnumbered. Speaking of Damian, the Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday note that Holden Novak will issue him a warning. Damian will likely fill Holden in on Lily's offer to work at Winters, and Holden may feel as if this could be a bad idea. Not to mention the fact that he may wonder what will happen to him if Damian jumps ship from working with Dumas to working at Winters. Technically, Damian has a family connection at Winters, so could he get Holden a job too? Would Holden even want to work for Lily and Devon, considering their distrust of him? Are you excited about Thursday's show? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that the show's been featuring some lackluster love stories, so we have to ask, where are the hot couples worth rooting for? Soaps are known for bringing love in the afternoon, but the sizzle seems to be missing from Genoa City. I and R's first mistake might be concentrating on too many business storylines. We get the temptation to have love interests working together, but it can often lead to couples arguing about corporate drama that's tough to care about. Chelsea Lawson left a career she was thriving in at Marchetti to go bicker with Adam Newman at Newman Media. Likewise, Sally Spectra inexplicably decided to ditch her true passion of fashion and help Billy Abbott start up Abbott Communications, which is probably destined to fail if we're being honest. It just feels like this focus on business is taking away from real couple development and other opportunities for GC excitement. As for Kyle Abbott and Claire Newman, their love story doesn't seem to have a lot of substance either. At this point, most viewers are ready to see something more than just Grandpa Victor Newman's meddling. Audra Charles and Nate Hastings definitely have some chemistry, but they're being set up to fail with Audra's bad decisions. It makes no sense for Audra to strike another deal with Victor after being burned by him repeatedly, but she's putting her romance with Nate at risk to target Kyle and Claire's relationship on Victor's orders. With that in mind, Nate and Audra may be headed for a breakup sooner rather than later. There's also Maria Copeland, who found a way to betray Tessa Porter off-screen, presumably so Y&R could push Tessa further in dreary Daniel Romalotti Jr.'s direction. In other words, we're getting plenty of repetitive corporate clashing and guitar lessons in the park, but many fans are looking for more from the CBS soap. There's still time for the show to turn things around and bring some sizzle in the summer months, so we'll pass along more love life predictions and updates on any romantic news to come. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Genoa City could use an overhaul in the romance department, so stay tuned. Allison Lanier is saying goodbye to The Young and the Restless. After 3 years on the popular soap opera, the 34-year-old actress revealed her time as Summer Newman will be coming to an end this week. She announced the news in a message on X on Wednesday, April 30. "Hi guys! This Friday, May 2nd, will be my last episode on Y&R, she revealed. "I've loved the journey and learned so much, but it's time to grow in a different direction. Very grateful for all of the Y&R fans who have supported me." Less than 3 fans shared their reactions in the comments, with many expressing mixed emotions. "This is so unfortunate," one user wrote. "I love seeing you on my TV screen. I hope this isn't the end of summer, although the next actress will have a lot of work to do." Another commented, "Oh, I hate to see you go. I hope to see you in the future on something else. Good luck." Lanier has played Summer, the daughter of Phyllis Summers and Nick Newman, since 2022 after taking over the role from Hunter King. The character was first introduced in 2006, and it is unclear if there are plans to recast it. People has reached out to a rep for The Young and the Restless for comment. In 2024, Lanier landed her first Daytime Emmy nomination for her performance. At the time, she took to Instagram to celebrate the career achievement. "Incredibly grateful and honored to be nominated for the Daytime Emmys this year," the caption read, "alongside some of the most talented and wonderful people. Big congrats especially to my lovely Young and Restless fam, cast and crew for all of the nominations." Before joining The Young and the Restless, she appeared as a recurring character, Annabelle, in Season 3 of Red Oaks, along with independent films It Happened in Lay, Fishbones, and Mia. Lanier's exit comes just months after Colleen Zank left the long-running series. She took on the part of villainous Aunt Jordan in November 2023, but her character died by drinking poisoned tea in a January 2025 episode. Trevor Street John also recently said farewell to The Young and the Restless after appearing in more than 200 episodes as billionaire Tucker McCall. The star expressed his heartfelt gratitude for fans of the soap in 2 sweet posts on his social media in June 2024. In a dramatic turn of events on The Young and the Restless, the foundation of Mariah and Tessa's relationship is rocked by a revelation that changes everything. Mariah, consumed by emotional unrest, has been sensing a growing divide between her and Tessa, an emotional void filled with silence, suspicion, and unspoken tension. Their once passionate and resilient bond now feels increasingly fragile under the weight of secrets. Despite years of facing criticism and adversity together, the couple had managed to stay strong until now. Behind the scenes, Tessa has been grappling with a painful truth. What began as an innocent interaction with Daniel evolved into a brief, reckless affair. The situation escalated when Tessa discovered she was pregnant, a realization that sent her spiraling into guilt and fear. Overwhelmed and unsure of how to come clean, Tessa turned to Sharon for guidance. In a quiet but emotionally charged exchange, Tessa confessed everything to Sharon: the affair, the pregnancy, and her overwhelming remorse. Sharon urged her to take responsibility and reveal the truth to Mariah, reminding her that honesty, no matter how painful, was the only path forward. Meanwhile, Maria's intuition led her to follow Tessa one evening, culminating in her overhearing the entire conversation between Tessa and Sharon. The truth hit her with full force. Tessa was pregnant, and the emotional distance now made sense. Maria stood frozen outside Sharon's home, devastated by the betrayal and unsure how to process the heartbreak. Eventually, Maria confronted Tessa face to face. With sorrow and disbelief in her voice, she demanded confirmation. Tessa, consumed by shame, admitted the truth. The moment was heartbreaking. Maria's world shattered as she struggled to reconcile the woman she loved with the choices that had been made behind her back. This revelation marks a turning point in their relationship. Whether it leads to reconciliation or a complete breakdown remains to be seen. One thing is clear: the emotional fallout from Tessa's actions has left a lasting impact, and nothing between them will ever be the same again. In The Young and the Restless, tensions in Genoa City escalate as Maria Copeland finds herself consumed by guilt over a life-altering secret. The emotional fallout from a recent business trip has left her noticeably unsettled, and despite efforts to maintain a facade, her erratic behavior has not gone unnoticed, especially by her wife, Tessa Porter. Maria and Tessa's relationship has long been rooted in mutual trust and emotional transparency. However, Maria's recent shift in demeanor, marked by emotional distance and secrecy, has sparked deep concern. Tessa, perceptive and sensitive to her wife's emotional state, begins to suspect that something serious is being withheld. Sharon, Maria's mother and a seasoned observer of emotional nuances, also senses that her daughter is bearing a heavy emotional burden. While she remains supportive, Sharon's inability to get through to Maria only adds to the mounting tension. The gravity of Maria's turmoil suggests the secret could be catastrophic to her relationship. Though there's no confirmed infidelity, the psychological toll of concealing the truth is evident. The speculation intensifies. Did Maria betray Tessa's trust, possibly in a moment clouded by emotional distress and alcohol? And could this lapse have resulted in a pregnancy? The possibility of an unplanned pregnancy further complicates the situation. If true, the implications are profound, not only for Maria's conscience, but also for her future with Tessa. What began as a potential act of emotional recklessness may now have tangible, irreversible consequences. Meanwhile, Tessa finds herself navigating an unexpected emotional connection with Daniel Romolotti. A fleeting yet emotionally charged encounter suggests that the fallout from Maria's secret may already be pushing her partner toward another source of comfort. Should Tessa pursue this new bond, it could spell the end for Terea, the couple's fan-adored relationship. Adding to the intrigue is the unanswered question of who else might be involved. If Maria's possible infidelity involved another man, perhaps someone yet to arrive in Genoa City, the narrative could take an even more dramatic turn. Such a development might force Maria to confront not only Tessa, but the wider ramifications of her actions. As events unfold, the show explores core themes of emotional betrayal, forgiveness, and the resilience of love under pressure. Maria is at a crossroads, weighing whether to confess and seek redemption or remain silent and risk permanent loss. At the same time, Tessa must determine whether her love is strong enough to overcome betrayal, or if a new future with Daniel offers a clearer path forward. In the coming weeks, viewers can expect pivotal revelations that will shape the trajectory of both women. Whether the truth leads to healing or irreversible damage, one thing is certain: in The Young and the Restless, secrets don't stay buried for long, and the consequences of betrayal are rarely simple. In a stunning twist, The Young and the Restless reintroduces a character long thought to be buried in the past, Ashland Locke. Once a dark shadow in Victoria Newman's life, Ashland's unexpected appearance at her wedding to Cole Howard triggers emotional shockwaves throughout Genoa City, particularly within the Newman family. Despite years of separation and buried emotions, Ashland's return rekindles a storm of betrayal, deception, and unresolved trauma. This isn't a nostalgic visit, it's a calculated move. His presence signals not only a potential threat to Victoria's personal happiness, but also a challenge to the power and unity of the entire Newman dynasty. Victoria, now CEO of Newman Enterprises, has cultivated a life of professional success and personal stability with Cole and their daughter Claire. However, Ashland's reappearance destabilizes this hard-earned peace. His timing is deliberate, appearing on Victoria's wedding day, evoking fear, confusion, and old wounds. Although he doesn't act overtly, his very presence is a veiled warning that the past has unfinished business. Ashland's motivations remain unclear. Is he driven by revenge, or is he aiming to reclaim what he believes was unjustly taken from him? Either way, the consequences of his actions could be catastrophic. His appearance threatens to unravel years of healing, pulling Victoria back into a chapter she's worked tirelessly to close. While Ashland's return dominates headlines, another crisis unfolds behind closed doors. Cole Howard receives devastating medical news. He suffers from an aggressive, incurable illness. Choosing to conceal his condition, Cole attempts to shield Victoria and Claire from the pain of his declining health. However, the physical signs grow too apparent to hide. Eventually, during a quiet family dinner, Victoria confronts Cole, who confesses the truth. The emotional impact is immediate and overwhelming. Victoria, once again, finds herself battling a storm she cannot control. Claire, though too young to fully understand, senses the gravity of the situation, deepening the emotional toll on the family. As Ashland's shadow looms large, and Cole's illness destabilizes Victoria's personal life, the Newman family braces for dual crisis. Victor Newman, the family patriarch, quickly recognizes the broader implications. He understands Ashland is not merely a personal threat to Victoria. He represents a strategic risk to the family's power structure. Victor calls for unity, urging his family to confront this new adversary together. His leadership becomes crucial as the Newmans face internal and external battles that could alter their future. Amid these high-stakes developments, secrets begin to surface. Victoria grows distant, struggling with unresolved emotions from her past with Ashland. Cole, sensing her unease, begins to suspect that Ashland's return isn't coincidental, and that Victoria may be hiding something significant. Meanwhile, Claire, already grappling with the emotional strain of losing her father, is unknowingly drawn into a vortex of complex adult conflict. Her vulnerability could make her a pawn in a deeper game if Ashland's intentions turn sinister. What was meant to be a day of joy and new beginnings becomes a stage for confrontation and uncertainty. Ashland's silent appearance at the wedding is a symbolic strike. He doesn't need to say a word to remind the Newmans of the chaos he's capable of unleashing. His re-entry signals a new chapter of reckoning, not only for Victoria, but for the entire family. Ashland Locke's return is far more than a narrative device. It's a catalyst that reignites old battles and introduces new stakes. With Cole's illness threatening to tear Victoria's world apart from within, and Ashland positioning himself as a wild card with unknown intentions, the Newman family finds itself navigating treacherous waters. As secrets unravel and loyalties are tested, one thing is certain: the days ahead in Genoa City will be anything but calm. The intersection of past betrayals and present tragedies sets the stage for one of the most emotionally charged and high-stakes arcs The Young and the Restless has seen in years. Stay tuned, this storm is just getting started. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Victor's trap set to unmask a phantom. Billy goes undercover as secrets boil over. Tensions are rising in Genoa City as Victor Newman takes center stage in unraveling one of the most elusive mysteries he's ever faced. Target? Aristotle Dumas, a name whispered in power circles but never attached to a face. For Victor, this shadowy figure had always raised red flags. How could someone so influential remain unseen for so long? Victor's instincts tell him Dumas might not even exist. With every layer he peels back, the pieces point toward Damien Kane, Dumas' so-called right-hand man. Damien is charming, calculated, and always just out of reach. Every message from Dumas funneled through Damien, every order, his voice. It's too neat, too controlled, and Victor doesn't buy it. Enter Billy Abbott, who's unknowingly stepping deeper into a web of lies. Already working under Damien's direction, Billy becomes Victor's perfect pawn. With the right push, Victor convinces Billy to go undercover. The mission? Gain Damien's trust and expose the truth behind the Dumas persona. If Dumas is a fabrication, Damien is the puppet master, and Victor wants him exposed. Victor's plan is delicate. Billy must play the loyal operative, deceiving Damien into believing he's all in. Meanwhile, Leslie Winters is brought into the fold to help manage the operation from the sidelines. She's tasked with monitoring the fallout and protecting Billy's cover, even though she's reluctant to take on more responsibility. As the game intensifies, Billy discovers something big. After tailing Damien for weeks, he tracks him to a hidden location, a discreet building on the outskirts of town. What he finds shakes everything. A secret office masked behind a false wall. No one knew it existed. This, Billy realizes, is where the real action happens. Billy rushes to Victor with the intel. For the first time, they have something tangible, but Victor warns against moving too quickly. One wrong step could send Damien into hiding for good. They need evidence, real, irrefutable proof to take Damien down. Meanwhile, Damien's personal life begins to show cracks. A private conversation with Holden at Crimson Lights reveals a man torn between his constructed life and something more genuine. Damien talks of his time in Boston, reconnecting with his brother and spending time with Lily. But Holden senses more beneath the surface. Damien might be pulling away, trying to build a new life in Genoa City, one that doesn't include the people from his past. By the end of their tense exchange, Holden is left questioning Damien's intentions and his own future. Damien, meanwhile, must choose between the empire he's built in the shadows or a new beginning that might just expose everything. The trap is set. Billy's in deep, Victor's watching, and Damien? He might not see the walls closing in until it's too late. Zuleika Silver has inherited this special trait from her My&R character. Audra is one of the best vixens on The Young and the Restless. However, in real life, Zuleika Silver is nothing like her character. Yet there's one trait the actress took from Audra. When Silver debuted as Audra in 2022, little did she know it'd be her breakout role. The actress and her character have become popular staples of Y&R. Audra has earned a reputation as a vixen who provides lots of entertainment and drama on the show. The young businesswoman goes after whatever she wants no matter what the consequences. Taking on a character of that caliber was a bit nerve-wracking for the actress. Although Silver had many TV and film credits, taking on a soap opera role was challenging. In an interview with Woman's World, Silver revealed she had doubts when first cast as Audra. When I first came onto the show, I had a little bit of a fear of, oh my gosh, what if I don't know my lines? What if I'm not good enough? However, once she settled in and found her groove, Silver made the role her own. As her screen time as Audra progressed, Silver found herself becoming a bit like her character. Audra has taught me to just go for it, take up space, and be unafraid. I've channeled that into my life. Not everything about her, but I'm definitely trying to incorporate more of that confidence. Taking on the role of Audra has done wonders for Silver. The actress has achieved many milestones in her personal and professional life. She remains a top presence on Y&R and will be front and center in a new storyline. With Audra teaming with Victor and returning to her bad girl ways, things will get more interesting. In a shocking development on The Young and the Restless, Summer Newman's flight from Milan ends in tragedy, leaving behind heartbreak, unanswered questions, and a potential turning point for many of Genoa City's key characters. As reports of a plane crash surface, The fate of one of the show's most central figures remains unknown, triggering an emotional chain reaction among the Abbotts, Newmans, and extended families. Summer Newman, a pivotal character known for her resilience and ambition, boarded a flight from Milan, one that never reached its destination. The crash has plunged her loved ones into despair, most notably her husband Kyle Abbott and their son Harrison. Kyle, already burdened by professional responsibilities, must now grapple with profound personal loss. Harrison, though young, is portrayed as deeply affected, adding a layer of emotional gravity to the storyline. Summer's longtime best friend, Claire, is thrust into the spotlight as she begins to support both Kyle and Harrison through their grief. Her role may evolve significantly, potentially becoming a surrogate maternal figure for Harrison and a source of emotional stability for Kyle. Yet, whether Claire can truly fill the void left by Summer remains uncertain. The evolving dynamic between Claire and Kyle introduces possibilities of new relational complexities as they navigate shared loss and responsibility. Phyllis and Nick, Summer's parents, are equally devastated. Phyllis, known for her fierce maternal instincts, spirals into grief, refusing to accept her daughter's disappearance as final. This leads her to launch her own quest for answers. Meanwhile, Nick wrestles with guilt and helplessness, uncertain of how to process the loss of his daughter or support Phyllis through the emotional wreckage. Victor Newman's response is characteristically decisive. As the patriarch of the Newman family, he mobilizes extensive resources in a desperate attempt to uncover the truth. From deploying private investigators to leveraging his vast wealth and influence, Victor refuses to let Summer vanish without a trace. For Kyle, the tragedy signifies a total upheaval. His once structured life begins to unravel as he juggles grief, single parenthood, and corporate responsibilities. His emotional vulnerability may challenge his ability to lead, opening the door for future conflict or growth. His bond with Claire could evolve into something more significant or implode under the weight of shared trauma. Harrison, now deprived of his mother, faces an emotional reckoning of his own. The loss could redefine his development and behavior, and viewers are likely to witness a deeply emotional portrayal of a young boy learning to cope with grief. Phyllis refuses to accept the official narrative. Convinced that there's more beneath the surface, she initiates a personal investigation into Summer's disappearance. Her determination might lead to uncovering hidden secrets, or it may drag her deeper into emotional turmoil. Nick, too, is drawn into this mission, unable to stand by while his daughter's fate remains unresolved. True to form, Victor treats Summer's disappearance not only as a family crisis, but as a mission that demands all his power. Whether his efforts bring closure or complicate matters further is a question that will unfold in the coming episodes. Summer's absence sends shockwaves beyond her immediate family. With a vacuum now in place, power dynamics could shift. Characters like Adam, Victor, and others may find themselves entangled in new conflicts and alliances. The tragedy also poses questions about the future of the Abbott and Newman families. Will they unify in grief or fracture under pressure? While Summer's fate appears sealed, longtime viewers of The Young and the Restless know that the show rarely offers closure without a twist. Her disappearance may ultimately serve as a narrative pivot, clearing space for other characters to evolve, or even setting the stage for her dramatic return. Whether she comes back with secrets, vengeance, or redemption remains to be seen. Summer Newman's vanishing is more than a plot device. It's a narrative inflection point that has the potential to alter every relationship and storyline in The Young and the Restless. From emotional trauma and evolving relationships to power plays and investigations, this event propels the series into a new era of tension and intrigue. As Genoa City mourns, viewers will be watching closely for the next revelation. During a seemingly carefree family vacation to London, deep-seated emotions and hidden truths emerged, leaving the Newman family grappling with unresolved pasts and uncertain futures. What began as a lighthearted getaway turned into an emotional turning point, especially for Nick Newman and his complex relationship with Sharon. Victoria Newman's perceptive nature allowed her to see through the casual jokes and charming facade her brother presented. When Nick nonchalantly mentioned that he and Sharon had remarried at Buckingham Palace, it was intended as a joke. However, Victoria didn't laugh. Instead, she recognized the emotional weight behind the words, interpreting them not as humor, but as a subconscious confession. Throughout the trip, Victoria observed subtle shifts in Nick's behavior. His playful demeanor masked deeper feelings he hadn't fully confronted. Her comment that he was afraid of being alone and kept running back to Sharon hit him harder than expected, exposing emotional vulnerabilities he had long tried to suppress. What seemed like a jest became a mirror reflecting Nick's inner conflict. Nick and Sharon's bond has always been more than co-parenting or past romance. It is a connection marked by shared history, emotional scars, and unspoken attachment. Despite having pursued other relationships, their emotional tie remains intact. Victoria, having known Nick intimately throughout his life, saw this clearly, even when Nick did not. Sharon, too, was navigating her own emotional journey. The trip to London offered her a reprieve from trauma, including wrongful accusations and mental health struggles. While she hoped to reconnect with her family and heal, being in close proximity to Nick reignited unresolved feelings. Although grateful for the peace the trip offered, Sharon was forced to confront the contradictions in her long-standing connection with Nick. Victoria's insight proved crucial. She recognized that Nick's joke about remarriage was not simply a moment of levity, but an expression of internal turmoil. Beneath his smile was a man struggling with love, regret, and the fear of being alone. Her reaction brought this reality to the forefront, challenging Nick to acknowledge emotions he had long buried. As the vacation drew to a close, questions lingered. Could Nick and Sharon truly rebuild what they once had? Was their bond destined to endure, or were they doomed to repeat past mistakes? The family had come together in London, but emotional distance still separated them. In the end, the trip was not just about sightseeing and relaxation. It became a pivotal moment, a reckoning for Nick, Sharon, and Victoria. While the future remains uncertain, one truth is clear: some emotional ties, no matter how complicated, are never truly broken. The Young and the Restless recap for Thursday, May 8, reveals that Victor Newman will rattle Billy Abbott with an Aristotle Dumas warning, while Adam Newman comes up with an alternate plan. Here's how it'll all go down on Thursday's I&R episode. At Crimson Lights, Damian Kane will give Holden Novak updates on Lily Winters' job offer. If Damian decides to leave for Winters, he'll suggest Holden could take his place working for Aristotle Dumas. Holden will wonder if Damian is trying to get rid of him, and will have concerns about Damian getting played again. Damian will make a pitch about why Holden would be the best man for the job, but Holden will need some time to process everything. At Society, Lily will make a pitch of her own to Devin Winters and Nate Hastings. After Lily admits she talked to Damian about him possibly taking a Winters position, she'll explain her grand plan. If Aristotle Dumas is really going after Winters, the goal will be to make Damian a spy. Damian would offer Dumas inside access, but he'd really be helping them know Dumas' moves before he makes them. Devin won't be sure they can trust Damian enough for that, but he'll ultimately seem intrigued by the arrangement. Nate, on the other hand, will have concerns about making Damian feel manipulated and forcing him to lie. However, Lily will point out that the ball would be in Damian's court since he'd decide for himself if he was in. Once Lily leaves, Devin will work to convince Nate that maybe Lily's got the right idea about what's best for all of them. Later, Damian will call Lily and ask if they can meet since he's decided about the job offer they discussed. At the GCAC, Victor will push Billy's buttons regarding Phyllis Summers and Sally Spectra before talk turns to Aristotle Dumas. Victor will point out that he knows Dumas has canceled his planned meeting with Billy multiple times. If Billy will tell Victor what he's got going on with Dumas, then Victor will suggest he can avoid the avalanche of bad news that's coming for him at Abbott Communications. Billy will mock Victor for using Adam as his puppet at Newman Media and will downplay the threat. Victor will ultimately warn Billy to steer clear of Dumas, but Billy will wonder why he'd do that. After Victor makes a prediction about seeing things coming, he'll advise against getting caught in the middle of two juggernauts. Once Billy's alone, he'll make a phone call to Aristotle Dumas' assistant and insist that if this meeting's going to happen, it needs to happen now. At Newman Media, Chelsea Lawson will question whose idea it was to trash Billy, but Adam will make it clear that Victor indeed gave the marching orders. That said, Adam won't think this is about testing Chelsea's loyalty and will suggest it's more about Dumas going after Chancellor. Chelsea will find out about Dumas' connection to Billy, so Adam will act like maybe Billy is the one trying to cause trouble. Nevertheless, Chelsea will want Adam to promise he won't use Newman Media to take Billy down. Adam will agree to stand against Victor's wishes on this, but he'll reserve the right to strike back if Billy comes after them first. When Victor stops by Adam's office later, he'll hope that Adam got Chelsea on board with dragging Billy through the mud. Adam will argue that it's the wrong approach, so he'll hint about a different plan to handle Billy and Aristotle Dumas.